So John Barlew, Vice President of Safety. I've been with Kenco for 5 years, and I lead the security, occupational safety, and transportation safety teams here at Rivermill. Kenco absolutely approaches safety differently, and it's people-centered. We understand that our culture is the differentiator, and having our folks actively engaged in safety processes not only impacts the bottom line for our customers, but it elevates our overall business performance. Safety performance leads business performance, and when our associates are actively engaged in safety and our leaders are leading by example in promoting a safe workplace, the result is a highly reliable organization, an operating system that functions well, and a safety organization that is driven by our associates and using their expertise to really leverage our innovation and our ongoing support for safety excellence. Our associates are the experts. I truly believe, he or she who does the work has the understanding, the insight, and the expertise to guide the organization. And we see this in our own personal lives as we get further away from doing that firsthand work, whether it's playing a sport or working in a warehouse, you lose some of that perspective. And so our associates, we lean on them heavily to give us the context, to give us their experiences and their understanding as to how work is done. And we use that to continuously improve our processes, our procedures, to make our operations safer. But it really is more of a conversation than an observation. We like to dive deep into that understanding and learn really how work is done from their perspective. Our safety programs alone will not drive safety on the warehouse floor. It takes our people actively engaged in the processes to really drive safety in every task that we do. We want to create a culture where folks believe it's not only right for them, but it's right for their coworkers, and then they take that outside the four walls of our warehouse and apply it with their family and friends. We've, over the last 3 years, taken a really strategic approach, put out annual initiatives starting with Journey to Safety Excellence, followed by Safety Starts With Me and I Am Safety Excellence. All three of those initiatives were people-centered and really focused on why it is important that each of us work safe. Safety is integrated into the Kenco operating system. Our safety pillar consists of several key areas that drive continuous improvement. One of those is our safety committees. As sites mature and begin the certification process from bronze to silver to gold, one area where we see really an enormous amount of growth and shared ownership and really handoff of that process is in our safety committees. At the bronze level, you may find that leaders are driving the safety committees where associates are participating. And over time, and as maturity progresses, we see that ownership completely change over to where the associates are identifying agenda items, are coming to the meeting to contribute their suggestions and their insights and experiences, and ultimately driving the actions from those meetings that really are a catalyst for continuous improvement. When the safety pillar house is operating with a continuous improvement mindset, you can count on there being gains in other areas of the business. When our associates are actively engaged, they're looking for opportunities to improve, not just in safety, but in other areas like quality or labor management. And that has a downstream impact to the bottom line and our customers as a whole. I truly believe that safety performance leads business performance, and our associates care about each other and they care about working safely, and that transcends into how we operate as an organization, either handling a customer's product, working within their manufacturing space, or even operating the powered industrial trucks. When each of us care and are engaged in the safety process, not only does it lead to fewer incidents, but it drives a culture of continuous improvement, and it drives a culture where everyone's aligned around the mission, and that is to not only operate safely, but to care for our customer's product as it comes in and goes out of our doors. Technology and AI is here, and we need to embrace that, and Kenco is doing that. We are investing heavily in technology, especially on the safety front. Some AI solutions just in the recent years has really given us a lot of insight into our number one cause of injuries, which is soft tissue injuries. One tool is an AI-enabled ergonomics assessment that layers into our safety software. So you imagine having a phone and able to video someone doing their job and getting real-time analysis on exactly what risk factors are present in their body position, their posture, their twisting, and their movements when we're fulfilling a product. Then we can take that video, show it to the associate, and it become a mutual learning opportunity for us to innovate and design our work better so that those risk factors are eliminated. One of the things I'm most proud of at my time at Kenco is investing in others and developing future safety leaders for the organization. We have a certified safety advisor and advocate network that's a voluntary program at the site level where folks volunteer to lead the safety programs. And through that certification process, we invest in them through on-site training and advanced training topics to become train-the-trainers in certain key areas of our warehousing operation. And some of those have really excelled and grown and shown interest in advancing and, in some cases, redirecting their careers into safety. In such cases, we've had the advisors and advocates be promoted to site-level supervisors and managers. And in 3 such instances, we've had those folks enter the corporate safety team as corporate safety specialists. One individual in particular, Teresa Portillo, out of our Dallas campus, began as a warehouse worker, matured into this advisor role, and then grew her career now to a corporate safety manager. So she's doing amazing things, pursued a CEAS ergonomics certificate, and is pursuing other credentials now and adding to the team not only in her skill, but also really driving a culture of safety excellence. We did a safety moment with one of our key customers, and it was around mind not on task. And David Keynes, our COO, said growing up, his dad would always say, David, you just need to be focused. You have to keep your mind on task. And we find ourselves in parenting and in supervision always talking about being mind on task. But the reality is, our operations are very complex and fast-paced, and it's not natural or really innate for us to be at a high level of focus all day at all moments. And so the mind not on task safety moment highlighted the need for us to know when it's vital that we're focused and do a safety reset. And it's just a quick moment to say, hey, I'm getting ready to cross a pedestrian aisle, or I'm getting ready to drive into a trailer that presents an elevated risk, meaning that I need to be aware of those hazards and do a mental check around what those hazards may be surveying for them and correcting as work is done. And that really prompted the entire initiative of Journey to Safety Excellence in 2023. We started incorporating safety resets after lunch and an afternoon break when we saw an increase in incident activity, likely due to fatigue and the pace of business in the afternoon hours. And that really drove the safety incident rate considerably down. We built on that by incorporating human factors studies into our resets. So introducing storytelling and tying in some of those human factors, personalized it. So instead of just saying, I had this incident, I had this incident because I was rushing, or I had this incident because I was frustrated or fatigued, or maybe I was overconfident about something and just assumed that a safety control was in place. And so the storytelling started maturing, and we started relating those not just at work, but also at home, which really drove a mindset of heightened awareness and ultimately mind on task. And so over the last 3 years, we've seen the mind on task evolve into this now what we call my moment of excellence, where associates are bringing forward their stories about how they applied the skill of mind on task. They detected their human factor, maybe reset in some cases where they were frustrated or fatigued, and were able to successfully complete a task without incident. And so that's what we're calling my moment of excellence. And I think all of us have a story to share, which is an amazing testament to the maturity of our folks out on the floor and our journey to safety excellence. What's coming in 2027? A lot of organizations are focusing on serious injuries and fatalities, understanding that those risks are different than some of the lower severity injuries. So we too will be continuing our journey to eliminate high potential events, as we call them at Kenco. Another area is in human and organizational performance, or HOP as they call it. There's some principles that many organizations are adopting where you focus on really learning and improving, and we'll be expanding our incident response and operational learning procedures so that we can engage our associates more in the process and really understand, from their perspective, how work is done. I think that's going to drive even more gains on our processes and procedures as they get more robust. The business is getting more and more complex every day. We talked a little bit about data and AI and innovation. The speed of business is accelerating. The complexity of business is getting more and more difficult, and we have to simplify things for our workers. And so leveraging technology, being on the floor and really opening up their potential through safety committees and safety activities where they are engaged in the process is going to help us keep up with that speed. Because whether we want to admit it or not, the future is here, and we have to embrace that and take healthy risk. So engaging our people in that process is going to be vital for us to do that. We've had some extraordinary success, but the journey's just begun. Our goal is 100% active engagement in safety. And as we stand up new warehouses and expand with our existing customers, there's always opportunity for us to grow that safety culture. So I encourage anyone who's interested in learning more about safety to reach out to myself or someone on my team, our OS partners at any of our warehouses. But again, we are on a journey to safety excellence, and I'm confident that we will be leading the charge here at Kenco.